As we get into layers, one of the first things that we want to find out is, how in the world do I create a layer? Well, there's a lot of different ways we can go about doing that. One of the ways is when you open a new document, you can see here that you've got a background. Well, this is my background layer, but I want to convert that to a real layer. That's easy. All I have to do is go out here where the blue is, and I need to double click. And this box pops up that says New Layer. The default name is Layer 0, and I can change my mode, which we'll look at a little bit later, and our opacity that we'll look at a little bit later. But for right now, I'm just going to say OK. And here I have Layer 0. Well, what can I do with it? Well, now I can turn it off, and you can see that I have transparency. It's just like any other Photoshop document. I can write on it, I can draw on it, I can do whatever I please. Okay, how else can I make a layer? Well, there's the New Layer button, which is right down here. Let's go right here. This is the New Layer button. And basically, all I have to do is click on that, and it gives me a new layer that I can go in and I can paint on that layer. Let's bring up our paint brush here. I can paint on that layer. I can do whatever I want to it. Now, what I had done before when I created my layer 0 was I got a dialog box that gave me a few other options. Well, if I want, I can hold down my Option key on a Mac or Alt key on Windows when I click on that New Layer button, and it gives me the New Layer dialog, and I can just go right in here and create my layer 2, and I can go up and I can write on that. Let's do that in a different color. Let's just write on that in green and come in like that, and you can see that these two layers are independent. I can have totally different images there. I can do whatever I please on that. Okay, how else can I create a layer? That's easy. There's a couple more ways. There's a little fly out here in the upper right hand corner of the layers panel, and that says give me a new layer. Well, it also says duplicate the layer that I've got, and I can go in and I can call that layer 2 copy, and you can see now I've got 2 copies of this screen. Now I can move that around by clicking on my move tool up here, and I can take one of those and just take it. I can move it around. I can do lots of things with it. Okay, another way, I can go up here to my layer menu at the top of the screen and come down and say give me a new layer. And there's a lot of other options I can do here also. Let's say layer 3, and let's give this one a color. Let's give it yellow. Now notice it doesn't color the layer itself yellow, but it gives me a yellow tag out here on the layer. And again, I can go in if I want, and I can, let's choose yellow here, and I can paint on this layer in yellow. Of course, I have to choose my brush tool first, and I can just go in like that. Okay, so that's how to create a new layer. It's really easy.